This is Fight Club 24/7. My name's Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. Devin Haney retained his WBC Super Lightweight World Championship on Saturday night. So I was right about that. I did say he will still be WBC champion. Right, okay. Alright. Devin Haney still is the champion because Garcia couldn't fight for the belt considering he didn't make weight, and Devin Haney's belt wasn't on the line, so he's still officially WBC Super Lightweight World Champion. However, okay, I will hold my hands up. As you motherfuckers like to remind me, I got it completely wrong on Saturday. Yes, I hate it when I get it wrong, right? It annoys me. However, I did do my prediction before I knew Garcia was 3 pounds overweight, right? I didn't think at that point he would deliberately miss weight. However, right, I still thought Devin Haney would win the fight. I thought he would school him. I thought he would comprehensively beat him. He didn't. I was wrong. Ryan Garcia won the fight. Okay, he proved me wrong. He proved a lot of other people wrong. Fair play, good performance. I will dissect it later on, but I hold my hands up. Okay. Right? The thing that annoys me is these people who pipe up when they don't say a word before the fight. The ones who comment and they say, right, I think this is going to happen and I think you could be wrong. I respect that. Right? It's the ones who I've never heard from before seem to pipe up, tell me I don't know anything, I get everything wrong. They're not under the comments when I get it right. Where's the equality in that? Where's the justice? Okay, let's talk about the big elephant in the room. Missing weight by over 3 pounds. I am absolutely shocked by the amount of people who are just disregarding this. People in the game who know the game as well, just disregarding it. 3 pounds is nothing. It was even on fight night. They both rehydrated. I just can't believe it. What I think has gone on is a mixture of people just wanting the fight to happen because a lot of people didn't think it was happening. We got to the weigh-ins on Friday. They just wanted to see a fight. It didn't matter if Ryan Garcia came in at 18 stone. They just wanted to see a fight. So people weren't really talking about the weight because they just wanted to see a fight. And another thing, I just think a lot of people, for whatever reason, don't like Devin Haney. Now, maybe it's to do with the comments he said when he said, I can't lose to a white boy, which was totally unacceptable, just disgraceful, silly behaviour. Well, he did lose to a white boy, didn't he? So it's just disgraceful behaviour. So he shouldn't be saying stuff like that. No one should be saying stuff like that. So I don't think certain fans like him because of that, right? But it's a mixture of not liking Haney and just wanting to see the fight. I don't recall in a big fight of this magnitude, a fighter ever missing weight by so much, right? This is not like he was over by a few ounces or a pound and he did everything to take it off. He deliberately went into this fight knowing he wasn't going to make weight. That is a clear advantage for Ryan Garcia, right? Now, when he did the first press conferences, I did an emotional video. I said he should be pulled on the fight. He doesn't look well. I just think now, looking back, he's probably partying all weekend. But I changed my mind literally a few days later. I said non-stop since then that Ryan Garcia was faking his mental health problems. He's just saying anything to promote the fight. That's what I said. Yes, I also said he'll get schooled, he'll get beat and all that. But I made it clear that he's just promoting the fight. He's not got mental health problems. He's just playing on it. Right? And people saying, oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. And he's admitted himself that he was playing on it. Right? Now, do I think he was playing on it and absolutely pushing himself in the gym every day? No, I don't. I think he's actually got away with it, to be quite honest with you. And I think the premeditated manner that he knew he wasn't going to make the weight is absolutely disgraceful. He wanted to go into that ring knowing that he's got a clear advantage. He didn't sort it out at the negotiation table. That's different. Like the Tank fight, they agreed to fight at, I think it was 136. And he had to have a rehydration clause of £10, I think, right? So he agreed to that. Afterwards, he didn't stop going on about how it hindered his performance, right? He lasted 7 rounds. But at the end of the day, I don't know why he agreed to it, but he did. They signed a contract. They agreed to it, right? And if he was going to miss weight, there would have been financial penalties, right? I don't understand how Devin Haney's team let Ryan Garcia rumble them. Right? Where was the rematch clause? Where was the penalties for missing weight? Ryan Garcia didn't say a few weeks ago, right, I can't make the weight. Can we renegotiate at 153? He deliberately waited till Haney sucked those last £3 out of him. Now, for anyone saying £3 isn't a lot, let me tell you something. Get down to your lowest weight that you've ever been, lose another 2 stone, and then lose another £3 and tell me if £3 isn't a lot. It's absolutely a lot when you're talking elite boxing, when you're draining your body. If you're completely dead at the weight, £3 is like 3 stone. Garcia came out after the fight and said, I can't make 140, impossible. My body can't go that lower than 143. I'm moving up to welterweight, right? So I suggest to you, if he did lose those last £3 and he did drain himself to get to 140, I believe it's a different fight. It's an even playing field, right? Haney had to suck those last £3 out of him. He looked very tight at the weight. I don't know what's going on with him, right? Yes, he's looked tight at the weight in the past against Kambosos and Prograis, right? But he looked bad at the final press conference. He had sunglasses on. He could hardly talk. He looked bad. He looked very tight at the weight, right? So clearly, it affected his performance getting down to 140. Now, people can say, well, he performed well against Prograis. Yeah, he did, and Prograis made weight as well. Ryan Garcia didn't, right? And it's not the fact that he just couldn't make the weight and he tried to get it off. He never bothered to get it off, so he knew all the way through camp that he wasn't making weight. He wanted to get into that ring with a clear physical advantage. He deliberately waited and dragged it out so Haney made weight, right? People talking about this silly bet. Listen, bets are bets. It doesn't mean anything. I can assure you, if it was legally binding in the contract that for every pound Ryan Garcia missed, there would be a 500,000 penalty clause, right? I guarantee you he's making that weight. Bets don't mean anything. Posts on social media don't mean anything. Let me see it in Devin Haney's bank account, the 1.5 million. Let me see it before people say this, and that, right? It's not legally binding. And that is what I think is disgraceful about this. And I think Ryan Garcia is getting off with a lot of criticism. He's getting off scot-free, if you ask me. I can't believe it. If this was Bud against Spence, right, and Spence came in £3 overweight and he gave Bud a big beating, people would say it's absolutely disgraceful. It's out of order to be going on about the weight. I'm not saying that the only reason Devin Haney lost is because Ryan Garcia was £3 overweight. I'm not saying that. But what I am absolutely saying is that it negatively impacted Devin Haney making 140 and it positively impacted Ryan Garcia not losing those last £3. When I'm saying he's not draining his body, Garcia, yes, he's cutting weight to 143. Obviously, he doesn't walk around in that weight, so he is cutting some type of weight, right? But 143 to 140, if you're absolutely dead at the weight, right, it's impossible to make. So if he would have made that and strained the last bit out of him, then maybe he doesn't get stronger in the second part of the fight. Maybe when he takes a few right hands and left hooks from Haney, his feet can't take it. Maybe a few body shots he couldn't have took, like against Tank. So that is my point, right? Yes, Devin Haney lost the fight. He didn't perform. But the playing field was not even, right? And it's a disgrace. It's absolutely disgraceful. Now you can put up with the antics before the fight, and even if it's going overboard and he's promoting it, Ryan Garcia, but to be that unprofessional, right, and try and get that much of an advantage when you've not negotiated it in the contract and then you're celebrating like you've won the World Cup, I'm sorry. Right, it's absolutely disgraceful. And if it was anyone else, they'd be getting absolutely hammered. If you're a professional fighter and you think that's acceptable, if that happened to you and you were fighting someone else in the biggest fight of your life, you'd have a difference of opinion. If you're a manager and you think it's okay, if that was your fighter, you would have a difference of opinion. It's just absolutely disgraceful that he deliberately didn't want to make the weight. Don't tell me he tried to, right? He never tried to lose the £3. He said after the fight that he wasn't going to drain himself. So he knew all along, and his team, that he wasn't going to make weight, and Devin Haney was. It's different if he mentioned a few weeks ago that he couldn't make it and they renegotiated a new deal. He didn't. He deliberately made sure Devin Haney sucked those last £3 out of him while he didn't. Was it a smart move? Yes, absolutely. Right? But is it a form of cheating? Absolutely. He's cheated the system. Right? So I don't understand how anyone can argue with that. People saying £3 isn't a lot. Believe me, when you're absolutely dead at the weight and you're cutting weight, it's like 3 stone. An ounce is a lot at that point when you're completely dead at the weight, remember? So it is a lot. That is my point about that. Right, the fight. I did say that Garcia would be dangerous for a few rounds, right? And he'll come out with a few left hooks. He did catch Haney with a left hook in the first round. It stumbled Haney, it hurt him. But after that, from rounds 1 to 7, Haney was in control. He was popping him off with the jab. Okay, he was hesitant to let his hands go. He just couldn't time Garcia's speed. Garcia looked like he didn't have the fitness to go all out. But I think that actually helped him because he was more preserved. He wasn't just going all out. He was actually picking his shot. So I actually think that helped him. He actually slowed himself down. And he was dangerous with his combinations, he was. But Haney had control of that fight from the 2nd to the 7th, right? I did say you try and back Garcia up. He did. He backed Garcia up. Probably not the best game plan looking back now because he was trying to hook with a hooker, wasn't he? When he was getting caught, you don't hook with a hooker. Right? Everyone knows that. And he was getting caught repeatedly with the left hook. He just couldn't time Ryan Garcia's speed. And I did say Garcia doesn't have great head movement and he can't fight on the back foot. But he was scrappy on the back foot. It didn't look pretty. I mean, the shoulder all turning, the body all the time. But he did actually box well on the back foot. So he proved me wrong in that. But things changed in the 7th round. When Haney went down, he just capitulated. He just didn't have anything left. He just looked like he just couldn't push himself. I don't know if it's because he was hurt or they're talking about a broken jaw. But I think he got the weight wrong. For whatever reason, I just don't think he got it right. And his energy levels seemed to decrease as the fight went on, where Garcia surprisingly increased. Now, this, for me, is a byproduct of not making the weight. If he had made the 140 and sucked those extra £3 out of him, maybe he doesn't get stronger in the second half of the fight. So that's why I don't think it was an even playing field. But Garcia won the fight convincingly. There's no doubt about it, right? But there's a dark cloud over the win, right? He's not fought the champion at championship weight. There's weight classes for a reason. There's a reason why you're meant to make a certain weight. It's hard, it's punishing, it's grueling. Both fighters are meant to make it so it's an even playing field. It's not an even playing field if one fighter doesn't make it and one fighter does. Especially when they're both tight at the weight. Now, for people saying that would have happened regardless and Garcia's got Haney's numbers, I'm sorry, right? I think I'll be vindicated later on. I want to see Ryan Garcia against someone who's actually made the championship weight. Let him see how he gets on against Boots Ennis at welterweight. Or let me see him fight Teo at 140. Even though he's saying he's moving up to welter now. But there's a dark cloud over it, right? He deliberately missed weight. That is not an excuse, that is a fact. And weight cutting is a pretty big thing in boxing. If you were to say to fighters there's no weight division, you don't have to worry about a weight cut, that's 80% of the stress gone. Because everything is geared to making weight, to what you eat, to how you train, to how you put muscle on. It's the hardest thing. So for people disregarding it, it's only £3, doesn't matter, it's not like he loaded his gloves. Doesn't matter, he agreed to a contractual weight of 140, they're both tied at it. Haney sucked the last £3 out of him, Ryan Garcia didn't. So he knew he wanted to go in on fight night with a clear physical advantage. That's what he got, and he won the fight. Dark cloud for me, way dark over this win. Right now, I'm not disrespecting Garcia. He proved me wrong. I'll hold my hands up. Right, I hammered him. Right, I've hammered him the whole build up. The whole way through this build-up. I've not been happy with how he's been acting, right? But there's also many posts of me in the past saying how this guy's box office, he's got one of the best left hooks in the world. He's exciting to watch, even though he's very vulnerable. So it's not just, I've always hated Ryan Garcia. I was extremely critical of his antics during the build-up. Now, I did say, come Saturday night, he'll have a look a genius of a fool. Now, he looks a genius now because he won, right? But I think he's got away with it. I think Devin Haney was extremely poor. Ryan Garcia was good, but Devin Haney was so poor, right? And it's a mixture of not making a weight, and I think he's got out of jail. Now, you can say it was smart. Let me see him make weight, right, against another world-class fighter, and let's see how it goes. I still think he's very vulnerable. I'm not believing he's the next coming of King Kong, right? I think I'll be vindicated when he next fights, right? Let's see. Let's see how he performs when a fighter isn't dead at the weight. Because for whatever reason Haney was, people can say, well, he's not a big light welter or welter. Listen, he clearly is. He's been struggling to make the weight. So I don't know if he needs a new nutritionist, right? But I think he got the weight wrong. I think he got it wrong, right? But Devin Haney's team just got absolutely rumbled by Garcia. Now, Garcia can rumble me. I ain't the one fighting, but Haney's team should have seen all this. You want to behave like you're one of the best fighters in the world, you're in the mold of Floyd Mayweather, then you have to act like that. Gervonta Davis didn't put up with it. He had it in the contract. So they completely overlooked Garcia. There was no rematch clause, no penalty clauses for missing weight. They let this happen. And Ryan Garcia absolutely fooled him. I think it's a form of cheating, the way how he deliberately missed the weight and making Haney drop down to it. Right? But at the end of the day, it's smart by him. He got away with it. He got the win. When it was time to fight, he had a big advantage over Devin Haney. Right? So Haney's team will be looking at themselves. I don't know who negotiated the deal. I don't think it was Eddie Hearn. I don't think Eddie Hearn would have put up with any of this, to be quite honest with you. He would have made sure there were certain clauses, especially a rematch clause. How wasn't there a rematch clause? I think Haney completely overlooked him. So you can't disagree with that. Right? But I will say, I give credit to Ryan Garcia. He won the fight, no matter what you say about the weight. They both got in on fight night, rehydrated. It was an exciting fight. Absolutely captivating, right? He's exciting to watch, Garcia. So yes, I got it wrong. Garcia proved me wrong. Fair play. But there's a big dark cloud over the victory. In my opinion, Ryan Garcia cheated the system. You have contractual weight for a reason, and he never made the weight, and Devin Haney did. Right, let me know what you think. Do you agree with my assessment? Do you think the weight was a big factor in the fight? Do you think it didn't make any difference? Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.